Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty cool, how you can build a real iPhone app from scratch. We're following a guide that makes this possible even if you've never, ever written a single line of code in your life. You know, this is the classic roadblock, right? You've got this awesome app idea, but then the coding. For years, that was a totally valid fear. It felt like you needed a computer science degree just to get started. But as you're about to see, that's all changing, and it's changing fast. That wall, well, it's basically turning into dust. Because today, you don't have to be the expert coder. You get to be the director, the visionary. And you do it with a powerful AI that acts as your own personal dedicated copilot. And our copilot for this mission? It's a free tool from Google called Gemini CLI. I love how the guide we're following puts it. Think of it as your own personal junior developer, one that's brilliant, never gets tired, and is infinitely patient. You just give it directions in plain English, and it does all the heavy lifting with the code. All right, first things first, before we can start building the fun stuff, we've got to set up our digital workshop. But don't worry, this is a one-and-done deal, super straightforward, just to get all our tools in place. Let's just get the big one, the absolute non-negotiable, out of the way right now. You have to use a Mac. And honestly, there's no way around this one. Apple keeps a tight ship, and their core software for building apps, Xcode, will only run on a Mac. Okay, so the first tool for our workshop is called Xcode. It's totally free from Apple, and it's massive. It's basically the entire factory where your app gets assembled, tested, and prepped. You just grab it from the App Store, let it install, and then run one quick little command in the terminal to finish the setup. All right, next up, let's install our AI copilot. The easiest way to do this is with another little tool called Homebrew. Think of it like a special app store just for developers. You paste one command to get Homebrew, and then a second one, boom, Gemini CLI is installed. Seriously, it's that fast. And for the last step of our setup, we just need to introduce ourselves to our new AI copilot. All you do is type Gemini in your terminal, a browser window pops up, you sign in with your Google account, and you're good to go. This one little login unlocks this really generous free tier from Google, which is all the power we're going to need. Okay, workshop is set up. All the setup stuff is done. Now for the really exciting part. We are going to build a whole app, a daily affirmations app just by having a conversation with our AI. So how does this even work? How do you talk an app into existence? Well, it's this really simple back and forth loop. You tell the AI what to do in plain English. It thinks for a second and suggests the code. You give it the thumbs up, and it rates it all for you. Let's see it in action. Here's our very first prompt. We're just telling Gemini, hey, build the user interface. Notice how we use that little @ sign to tell it exactly which file to edit. And then we just describe what we want. A title, some text, a button. Simple as that. So you hit Y for yes to approve what Gemini suggested. And this is where the magic happens. You flip back over to Xcode, and just like that, the thing you just described with words is now right there on your screen. A real visual app interface. Okay, so our app looks pretty slick, but it doesn't actually do anything yet. It's just a pretty picture. So for our next chat with the AI, we're going to bring it to life. We'll ask it to create a list of affirmations and then make that button actually work to show a new random phrase every time you click it. But here's something that's just, well, incredibly cool. Your AI copilot isn't just a builder. It's also an expert debugger. We all hit errors when we're creating things, right? But now you don't have to panic or spend hours on Google. You can just copy that cryptic error message, paste it right into Gemini, and literally ask it, hey, what does this mean and can you fix it for me? And that whole process really shows you just how simple the commands are. I mean, you're pretty much just talking to it and using the @ symbol to point it out a file. That's basically it. It's a really focused and frankly powerful way to get things done. Okay, let's pause for a second. At this point, you have built a working, functional app, and you've done it all completely for free. But if you want to get it onto your friend's iPhone or onto the App Store for the whole world to see, well, we've hit a crossroads. And this all comes down to the different ways the two big companies here think about things. The guide we're following uses this fantastic analogy. Google gives you the super fast race car and all the fuel you want, totally free. You can build whatever you want. But Apple, they own the racetrack, the App Store. And if you want to race, you gotta pay the entry fee. So here's what that boils down to. With a free Apple account, you can build your app, and you can even put it on your own iPhone to test it out, which is awesome. But there are two big catches. First, the app just stops working after 7 days. And second, you can't publish it on the App Store where other people can find it. So to get rid of that 7-day limit and, to actually get your app onto the App Store for everyone to download, you have to join the Apple Developer Program. And that program has an annual fee. It's $99 a year. That's the price of admission to Apple's global distribution platform. All right, let's zoom out and recap here. It's really important to appreciate what's just happened and what this new way of creating things actually means for you. There's this quote in the source material that just hits the nail on the head. It says, "The person who started was an aspiring entrepreneur, but the person reading this now is an app developer." And that's not just a nice phrase. By directing an AI, by solving problems, by shipping a finished product, you've actually made that leap. And look, this is really just the beginning. Now you have this incredible workflow to take your ideas and make them real. You can start experimenting with more complicated prompts. You can ask the AI to clean up your code or even to teach you the basics of the Swift language. You can build a tip calculator, a note-taking app, anything. The point is, the tools are here. They're accessible, and they are way more powerful than they have ever been. That huge technical wall we mentioned at the start, it's pretty much rubble. Your AI Copilot is all fired up and ready to go. So there's really only one question left. What will you build next?